Let's take a listen at this video where Mehdi Hasan is destroying, these two morons. Of course, Piers Morgan and the other one, Jonathan Conricus. Take a listen.
Other than to say more of the same, just so many lies, demonstrable lies. You challenged them on a few of them. This idea that the war ends tomorrow if the hostages are released is a nonsense proposition that a lot of Israeli military officials no longer believe in. The deal is on the table. Hamas has now accepted Netanyahu's terms of a partial release deal, which they didn't want to accept. But the Israelis said that was our idea. And now Israel's own military chief of staff, Piers, is telling Netanyahu, take the deal. If you carry on with this war, it doesn't make the hostages any safe. That's what the Israeli military chief of staff is saying. We know that time and time again, there has been an option to end this war, have a complete hostage release, have a permanent ceasefire, not a temporary one. And yet the Israelis don't want to do it. Netanyahu has made it very clear. If they release the hostages, we're still going into Gaza City. We're still taking this over. As you pointed out, Smotrich and many other ministers have said that it doesn't matter. The hostages are not the priority. Taking back Gaza, destroying Gaza, cleansing Gaza. To quote the Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister of Israel, that is the goal. So many other lies he mentioned. He talked about a 2-to-1 civilian to combatant ratio. Not true. Israel's own military intelligence database last month, it was leaked, showing that 5 out of every 6 Palestinians they kill are civilians. One of the highest civilian death rates in the modern warfare. You have to go back to Rwanda, Piers, in the 1990s to find a death rate that high for civilians. It's one of the reasons why people are saying this is a genocide. As you said at the start of this segment, the International Association for Genocide Scholars passed a resolution on Monday saying that what Israel is doing in Gaza meets the legal definition of a genocide.
Now, what I find very, very interesting, disgusting, really, not interesting, disgusting, is that this guy, Jonathan, you can see him right on the screen here, at the far right or left on your screen, I don't know where it is. Every time Mehdi Hasan is throwing out some points and facts, he's like, no. What? Like for example, Mehdi Hasan, he just said that Israel, the death toll is, the ratio is 2-to-1. For one Hamas fighter, they kill 2 civilians. This is something coming from Israel itself. And he's also presenting other facts. All the while, you see this Zionist monster, Jonathan Conricus, this moron, he's saying, no. Come on, this is your estimation. Your government, your military is saying 2-to-1. And then every time Mehdi Hasan is saying, oh, they are killing so many people and civilians, he's like, no. As if we are all dumb and stupids here.
1 in 3 Americans doesn't think it's a genocide. The IPC says it's a famine, genocide. We need to stop the gaslighting.
Jonathan Conricus, welcome back to Uncensored. I don't disagree that Hamas should release all the hostages. Of course they should. Shouldn't have taken...
Wow. Have you noticed how Piers Morgan opened his mouth by saying what? Yeah, I don't agree. I do agree that the hostages should be released. Come on, Piers. Mehdi Hasan just mentioned about genocide. He just mentioned about some facts. He just mentioned the brutality of the Zionist forces in Gaza. Say something about that. Oh, no. He just picked up only the point where Mehdi Hasan talked about the hostages. Like Piers Morgan himself, and I have said this many times, he only cares about the Israelis and the hostages. If he does about the hostages, because his government, his leader, Netanyahu, doesn't. But if he does care, anything about Gaza is the hostages, is the Israelis in Gaza. That's all. Unbelievable.
To start with, but I vehemently disagree with Naftali Bennett's framing that simply ends everything, because nobody seriously believes that is the case for the reasons that Mehdi just articulated.
As you pointed out,
in a position
Piers,
to fact
they are on the record. Orit Strouk. They are on. Yeah, I can actually fact you. Let's give some facts. Bezalel Smotrich has said very clearly the hostages are not the priority.
You're not the representative of
the
fact,
settlements
Mehdi
minister.
Hasan.
Can I speak without being interrupted?
Let him speak, Jonathan.
You had a chance.
Jonathan, he
you
was
had a
quiet.
chance for your propaganda. I didn't interrupt you.
Was quiet.
I will interrupt you for the next 20 minutes.
Jonathan, he allowed you to speak without interruption. Let Mehdi do the same.
Fine.
You can come back in and lie again in a moment. I'll give the facts to the viewers. The finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, said very clearly that the hostages are not the priority. Ben-Gvir has said a similar line. Orit Struk, the settlements minister, said recently, we have to go into every area, even if the hostages die, even if they're unsafe, we have to do it. They have made that very clear. Gallant, the former defense minister, said Netanyahu was sacrificing the hostages. The hostages' families went to the homes of the Israeli cabinet just 9 days ago. They protested outside the government's homes and said, you are sacrificing our children on the altar of eternal war. Those are the words of the hostages' families, not the former IDF spokesman, Piers, who you've brought on to lie on behalf of the Israeli military. So many lies he told there in that statement that he just gave this long rant. He doesn't want me to speak now, obviously, because the fact checks will hurt him. Again and again, they have said the hostages are not the priority. And this idea of fringe figures, as you said, Piers, Bezalel Smotrich is the finance minister. He said in May of this year, we are disassembling Gaza. We are turning it into piles of rubble. We are destroying the Gaza Strip. We are there to conquer, cleanse, and remain. Those are the words of Smotrich. By the way, on the same day, Piers, Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, put out a tweet saying, Bezalel, you have spoken the truth. You show leadership. So this is the entire government. It's not just the entire government. It's the country. A majority of Israelis say they want Palestinians expelled from the Gaza Strip, according to every poll. This is not a fringe view. This is the Israeli government. This is Israeli society. And for Jonathan to say, I'm in the Hamas camp, come on, Jonathan, get some new lines. I'm not in the Hamas camp. I've never defended Hamas on this show once. Piers knows that. Although you come on this show to defend an Israeli military you were part of and spokesman for. You were part of an Israeli military that's being investigated at the ICJ for genocide. You're part of an Israeli military that was indicted at the International Criminal Court for war crimes and crimes against humanity. You're part of an Israeli military that the International Association of Genocide Scholars have said is a genocide. You're part of a military. You're part of a military that's being investigated.
So can you hear that? Like the moment Mehdi Hasan opening his mouth and presenting all the facts, this guy, truth gets under the skin of the Zionist. Nothing is worse. Nothing gets under their skin in the worst possible way than facts and truths. So they can take it. Like it's like a demonic possession. When you see truth, the Zionists, they see demon. Like they are demon themselves, but somebody is speaking the truth. Oh my God, he's coming to me, and it's getting under my skin. I have to say something. I cannot take it anymore. So they start to roll their eyes. They start to nod their heads, and they go crazy. They cannot take it anymore. So they start interrupting the person who is talking. This is exactly what this guy, Jonathan Conquiras or whatever, is doing here.
I'm not just a mouth for hire paid by Qataris.
Well, I think, okay, hang on, let me jump in.
No, hold on, I'm finishing my point, Piers.
Jonathan, let me finish and I'll come to you.
He is still not letting Mehdi Hasan talk. He's still not, even though he was warned, even though he was told before he started talking, Mehdi Hasan said to him, don't interrupt me. You will have your time. Come back and lie again. But don't interrupt me for the time being. He cannot take the truth anymore. Jonathan, he is seeing demons. He's Zionist, he's probably seeing angels because the demons, they're afraid of angels. So he's seeing the truth coming out of the mouth of Mehdi Hasan. He can't take it anymore.
You're part of a military that has been investigated for sexual violence and rape against Palestinians. Did that happen on your watch? Did you sign off on what the UN says is sexual and gender-based
violence? Let me ask Jonathan a question. Okay, Jonathan.
Mehdi Hasan, ask him about Tom Alexandrovich. Ask this Zionist monster and Piers Morgan, the clown. The biggest clown show on YouTube right now is Piers Morgan's show. Ask Piers Morgan and ask this other monster, Zionist monster, about Tom Alexandrovich, the pedophile, the Israeli Zionist pedophile who left or who escaped United States after committing serious crimes. Unbelievable.
Bombed a hospital last week, Jonathan.
Okay, let me ask Jonathan an IDF question.
Bombed a hospital.
Let me ask Jonathan.
Only a sociopath would defend that.
All right, let me ask Jonathan a question, which is, as a former IDF man and spokesman, it is reported that...
So basically, to interpret what Mehdi Hasan is saying here really is that Jonathan and Piers Morgan, both of you are clowns, bunch of freaking morons, and I'm going to be shutting you down by presenting you facts, not your version of the story, not my version of the story, but facts. And these two just can't help themselves but lie.
Take out the remaining parts of the leadership leadership and actually get the military part of the job done. And I think that's a very good point made by the IDF.
Yeah, maybe IDF, your IDF is suffering heavy defeat and losses every single day. Your IDF is just as scared as you are seeing those fighters in Gaza. These are all bunch of morons, cowards, psychopaths, sociopaths, liars.
Who are protesting about this. People from CNN, from Reuters, from AP, from every serious news organization in the world, saying that there is a mini genocide going on with actual journalists in Gaza, and that the only reason for
mini genocide going on. I mean, Piers Morgan will try to find his word for genocide, the lightest one. So he Googles about genocide, who is using another term for genocide, because he knows this is genocide, and he cannot lie in front of the camera every single day, because people know that this is a clown talking. But now he's found a word from CNN News, mini genocide. Oh, what is happening in Gaza is a mini genocide. No, it's not a genocide, it's a mini genocide. Unbelievable, pathetic moron, Piers Morgan. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one.